We're in the Vinnytsia region. This is a camp for Russians who were taken prisoner in the war with Ukraine. I signed a contract and then told my mother, Mama, I signed a contract. She said I should just go home. I said, we talked about this. I know you're going to be against it. Before I signed the contract, she tried to talk me out of it. But then she said, if you want to do it, then sign it. You're a squad leader? Yes, I am. I was given that duty before a combat mission. They put our platoon in formation, pointed at me, and said, you'll be in charge. These men will go with you. I was just the leader of a 5-man squad. How many of the 5 are left? 2 men. How did you end up captured? On December 25th at Novomihailovka, I went out. I thought about going to see if there was any food or water. And I came across soldiers from the Ukrainian army. This is Correctional Colony number 114. A new camp for Russian prisoners of war was established here not too long ago. It's called West 2 and is located close to the border with Moldova. There are 2 of these camps. Another one is located in the Lviv region. This is where the Russians are waiting to be sent home, either as part of an exchange or after the war is over. We were told that you'll be sent to the camps, to the detention centers, and that you will be treated well there. You will be fed there 3 times a day, that there will be work.
That's already when you were taken prisoner?
Yes.
What's it like here?
Fine. Alive, healthy, warmly clothed, well-fed, all good. There are no prison cells in the camp. The prisoners live in large rooms. There are no bars on the windows. They are fed 3 times a day. There is also a functioning Orthodox Christian chapel on the camp's grounds. The stories of the prisoners are mainly divided into 3 types. Those who were mobilized, volunteers who went for what they thought was easy money, and former convicts who signed a contract with Russia's Ministry of Defense expecting a pardon. Among them are some who are barely 18 years old. Mishenko Nikita Sergeyevich. Date of birth, 2012-04. My military occupation is shock trooper rifleman.
Did you sign a contract with the prison?
With the prison, yes.
And tell me, why were you in prison?
Attempted sale of narcotics.
And you went to prison at what age?
17 years old. I was in the biggest prison in Europe, prison IK-12 in Volsky.
At the time you signed the contract, how old were you?
18.
I honestly don't understand how the Ministry of Defense allows children to sign contracts and sends them off to war.
Well, the ministry seems to think we're not kids anymore. How can you call me a child? I may have even killed people. It's just that everything is presented in such a smart way that any convict who doesn't follow the rules, even when they're in prison, will make the choice to go fight for money. That's what's driving everybody anyway, the fact that they're getting paid to do it. Why did I do it? I have a younger brother. He's 4 years younger than me. And I've just lately started thinking about the fact that if I don't help him in some way, he just might end up in the same situation as me. He might go to prison or get into some really weird trouble.
So you came to Ukraine to kill people in the war. You think you're some kind of positive example for your brother?
Who said I came to kill people?
What did you say you were before? A rifleman and a shock trooper? What is it that you came?
But I was told that here in Ukraine, my Russian-speaking people are being oppressed, that there are Nazis.
Is that what they told you in prison?
Not only in prison, but, well, yeah, mostly in the prison colony. Many of those who are captured by Ukrainian forces are reported as missing in action in Russia. The Russian Defense Ministry is doing very little to look for these people, as was previously reported by The Insider. So the soldiers' relatives go out looking for them on their own. That's why Ukraine launched Хочу найти, or I Want to Find, a unified portal in the search for Russian military personnel. The public movement Наш выход, or Our Way Out, created by Russian women in Ukraine, is cooperating with it.
Our Way Out is working with I Want to Find. Let me tell you a little bit about this organization. It's a Ukrainian government project to find Russian soldiers who are missing in Ukraine or ones being held as POWs. Relatives from Russia who are looking for a missing soldier or for proof of death can get in touch with the project and get reliable information. If the search is successful, like if the Ukrainian side finds a prisoner of war or a deceased soldier, that's when we get involved. People sign up for consultations, and we advise them. If it's a prisoner of war, we work with the I Want to Find project. We go to the camps and arrange a video call with their relatives. There's also the opportunity to pass along a care package. If it's a dead soldier, then we advise people on where to go and what to do to retrieve the body so they can bury it.
This is Irina Krinina, one of the founders of the social movement Our Way Out. A year ago, she herself was in the shoes of those who are now searching for missing loved ones. Her husband went off to war after being mobilized, and then went missing.
He thought he wouldn't be sent to Ukraine, that he would be somewhere on the border for 6 months at the most. I tried to change his mind as best I could, but I failed. So he went to war. For a long time, he was out of the combat zone. They were guarding some object. But in early June, they were transferred to Bakhmut. And he was captured near Bakhmut, in the village of Andriivka. How was he captured? I understand that they were in a dugout. Their dugout was surrounded, and they surrendered as prisoners.
All her attempts to get information from the Russian military, letters to the military prosecutor's office and the presidential administration, did not yield any results. That's when Irina turned to the I Want to Live project and followed her husband to Kiev.
Well, first of all, I encountered the fact that Russia does not help to search in any way. So they're missing persons? They're not prisoners of war? No. They don't give any information at all. And when I came to Kiev, I realized that from here, I could help other people's relatives find reliable information. So I stayed here and founded the organization.
In addition to Irina, the relatives of missing military personnel are being helped by Victoria Ivleva, a Russian journalist and photographer who left for Kiev right after the war started.
I remain a citizen of the Russian Federation, but I don't want to be in Russia. And at that time, I just terribly wanted to leave Russia. So, where to go? Naturally to Ukraine. It was a simple choice for me, because if I can help Ukraine when things are difficult, then with my tiny little powers, I should go help Ukraine. It was a very natural step for me. There's a movement in Ukraine that sort of helps Russians who are supposed to be hated. And the very fact that this movement even exists, I think, speaks to how free, how democratic a country like Ukraine is. To me, it does. That's how I see it. We've gotten about 6,500 applications so far. We found 174 prisoners of war and 24 dead.
The Ukrainian authorities are not disclosing exact prisoner of war statistics, but there are estimates of 2,500 people. Many of them had no idea what war was.
Essentially, we're talking about everything that they didn't expect, that they had no idea what war was, that if they could turn back time, they would have done everything possible to avoid going. As well, having spoken to these people, having done a lot of interviews, when I've talked to them, they all say they don't want to go back to war. They want to stay with their families and not be in combat anymore. But we all know that's unlikely.
I wanted to be in the military from a young age. When I enlisted, I already made the conclusion for myself that I'll sign a contract and serve.
Did you realize, in general, what the situation's like in Ukraine?
Yes, I did.
And you still decided to go? And now has your opinion changed?
Yes, it has changed.
And if you had known ahead of time that it was going to be like this, would you have wanted to go to Ukraine?
No, I wouldn't.
Tell me, do you think you were lucky to be captured?
Yes. Being alive and healthy is the most important thing.
You know, I think that, more or less, those who had opinions haven't really changed them. I mean, a huge number of people in Russia, mostly women, told their husbands not to go. Please don't go. Vasya, don't go. Don't go, Vasya. If they kill you, who will look after us? What about the children, the house, all that kind of stuff? But Vasya went, Vasya was wounded, or Vasya was killed, Vasya's captive, or came back, or hit the bottle, or went to prison. That thinking in that position hasn't changed. She was against it. She was just too weak to keep him from going. Maybe there wasn't a lot of love there, maybe fear, but she was against it, and she still is. And life confirmed that she was right. It was unnecessary, completely unnecessary. There are others who believe that he needed to defend the motherland. And since he came back without legs, it means that's what the motherland wanted. No critical thinking.
In the camp, prisoners of war have jobs. There's also a store. They can receive letters from their relatives in Russia and receive remittances and parcels from them. But for many, the most precious thing is just a phone call home. Why is everyone crying? Everything's fine. I'm alive and well. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. It's okay. Why are you all crying? Everybody calm down.
Well, how can I not cry? I can see you. Do you understand?
That's good, Mom.
Oh my God. Wait. Tell me, when did your sister die? What date?
November 5th.
So it is you.
Of course it is.
What's up with the negotiations? What's going on? What's happening?
Nothing. It's okay. It's okay. We're waiting for the exchange.
Are you wounded? Are you okay?
I'm okay. I'm not hurt. I'm fine. I'm fine.
Thank you.
Why thank me?
Just because I have you. Because you're still alive.
Hi, Mom.
Hi, son. Hello, sweetie. I'm at work, dear.
I miss you very much. I miss Dennis very much. Say hi to everybody. Tell him that I'm doing well. Just that I hope to come home soon.
I hope so, too. We're doing everything we can. Everything. You're already on the list. Everything's been submitted. Everything's all right here. I've already sent everything I need to send where I needed to send it. They issued the exchange orders. I'm on it, my dearest. You know, there is one question. I was asked to find out if you know about Pioneer.
He's dead.
He's dead?
He's dead. Yeah. And Alakhina, Sergei, Baldy was his call sign. He's dead too. A new camp had to be organized for the prisoners because the old one simply ran out of space. There are more and more prisoners, and Russia is in no hurry to bring them home. We found about 30 or so people who came to us with POW status. They've already been exchanged. So it's really true. I know it's definitely not Ukraine holding things up because I'm here. I see everything with my own eyes. My work is aimed at resuming the exchanges, to expand the numbers, to make them happen as often as possible, and also to get Russia to agree to exchange all prisoners. Because we know that Ukraine has been suggesting that option for a long time. Why Russia doesn't agree to exchanges, why there are no more exchanges, I don't know. But I do know for sure that it's not the Ukraine side that doesn't make contact.
Но я точно знаю, что это не украинская сторона не идет на контакт.
But even when there are exchanges, it happens that mostly former convicts are returned.
Я лично знаю только один обмен, в котором большая часть...
I personally know of only one exchange in which the majority were prisoners. I can't say anything about previous exchanges, but there was an exchange in which, how many I don't remember, out of something like 200 or 240, approximately 160 or 170 were prisoners. At the same time, prisoners convicted of serious crimes, drugs, are the easiest thing to walk. Well, it's clear why. Because these people are forced laborers. At any moment, they can be thrown back in jail or they can get themselves thrown back into a cell. And these are people who are very easy to direct and use. And they're such cynical meat, well, basically, for the motherland. It's not like you have to be willing to give your life for the homeland. It doesn't matter that it's not really a homeland at all. It's just a bunch of thugs out there, not much different from the people who go to fight for them.
Не намного отличающихся от тех, кто идет за них сражаться.
У меня есть вопрос такой вот.
I have a question. Is it possible that, maybe you know, what do they do with those who come back to Russia from captivity? I'm not talking about rehabilitation or readaptation. That's all clear to me. But are they sent back to the front?
Yes, those who come from the prison colony? Certainly.
Ukraine has offered several times to the Russian authorities to conduct a prisoner exchange of all for all, but has not received a response.
Мужики, которые там работают в охране.
The guys here who maybe worked as security guards back home, they really just want this to end.
Ребята там.
Just like the other guys who fell into this. They also just want this to end as soon as possible.
Это быстрее кончилось. И
And yes, a lot of people are surprised that, okay, I understand and I can speak the Ukrainian language. Bluntly speaking, two brotherly nations are fighting, and it's simply pointless.
бесполезно. У меня и судя.
Judging from my surname, I have Ukrainian roots,
И большинство тем.
and most people in the southern parts of Russia, they also have relatives here. Somewhere, someone.
Есть родственники где-то.
It all used to be that everyone lived peacefully, friendly,
Когда-то это все раньше.
and now this is the story.
А сейчас вот эта вся история.